In this video, how to gain back 20 points of GFR in just 12 weeks using a remedy so powerful, people started to call it black magic. Gathering here, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, and let's be real. Patients with CKD are supposed to lose renal function over time. That's what we're always told, right? But here's the thing. That decline mostly happens when patients are denied adequate medical care. I know. It's a heresy to tell CKD patients that they can actually improve if only their insurance wouldn't deny them even the most basic treatments. If only their doctor didn't forget to refer them to someone able to start them on a renal diet. Yes, telling patients they can improve is a statement so wild it could get you cancelled. Or even worse, it can get you called out in the comment section for recommending outlandish treatments. And guys, I understand perfectly that just sharing my first-hand clinical experience here will never change the mind of a conspiracy theorist, especially one that thinks that creatine and creatinine are the same thing. This is why today I won't just share with you my experience to support the statement that you can indeed improve. I'm backing this up with the findings from a breakthrough study involving 136 patients in CKD stage 3 and 4. These patients achieved results that were nothing short of extraordinary. In fact, as we can clearly see at the beginning of this study, these patients were on average in stage 4 of CKD. Their GFR was around 22. Now let's be clear about what that means. Patients with a GFR of 22 are usually told by their doctors to start thinking very seriously about dialysis. But these patients, they weren't told to prepare for dialysis. Instead, they were told to try a little-known herbal remedy. And the results, nothing short of exceptional. I don't think that even the researchers that authored the study were expecting a result so incredible. 20 points of GFR recovered in just 12 weeks. I mean, that's absurd, right? Especially because they achieved this result in a lot of patients. So let's take a look at how they did that. No, even better, let's talk about black magic first. Because guys, every time I say there is a remedy involved, everyone always wants to know what it is. So here you go. This you see here is the seed of nigella sativa, and sometimes is also referred to as black cumin or black seed. And yeah, some people consider it magic. Have you ever heard of this remedy? Now, of course, nigella sativa is not a new remedy. It has been used for centuries in traditional medicine. What's interesting is that modern science recognized many of the benefits of this small seed, especially for diabetes. In fact, according to these large review studies published in a prestigious medical journal, the results in terms of improved fasting glucose levels of nigella sativa are very significant. In one of the studies examined, patients had up to a 16% reduction in fasting glucose levels. Incredible! But that's just part of what makes this remedy magic. Now guys, what's even more interesting about the black seed is that it was tested in the study I mentioned in the beginning of this video as a way to restore kidney function. Yeah, you heard that right. In fact, the study that was conducted on 137 advanced stage CKD patients was not made with the goal of proving that a low-protein diet combined with conservative care can improve GFR in CKD stage 3 and 4 patients. No, they don't make studies to prove that anymore. It's a well-known fact today that CKD patients can improve if they receive adequate treatment and a low-protein diet. So the goal of this study was to prove that patients were able to improve even more when taking nigella sativa. So the big question is, can you improve your kidney function by supplementing nigella sativa? Well, the best way to answer that question is by looking at this recent study. This is a prospective randomized open-label and parallel group study. What this means is that it is a well-structured, thorough, and ultimately very reliable study. As we can see, this study was conducted on 136 patients. These patients were divided in two groups. The control group only received conservative management and keto analogs, while the test subjects received was the same as the control group plus nigella sativa, the black magic seed. Okay guys, now the shocking part. They all improved, both the test subjects and the control group, and in a very significant way, as we can see. Now, this is shocking for two reasons. First of all, because all the patients of this study improved on average. Having an improvement so substantial in so many patients in so little time is extremely remarkable. So, I hope this is clear. Not just the patients who received nigella sativa improved, even those that were only started on a renal diet, which also proves that none of these patients was receiving adequate treatment before the study started. None. They enrolled 136 patients and none of them was receiving all the appropriate medical attentions. Let's think about this for a moment. Now, the second reason why this study shocked me is because patients taking nigella sativa improved even more. As we can see, patients also receiving nigella sativa gain more kidney function than those not receiving it. Now guys, if you are here only for the remedy, don't miss the last part of the video. I will go in depth about how to take nigella sativa, the effects, dosages, possible interactions, and everything. So don't miss the last part of the video. And you can also skip to it using the timestamps down in the video description. Before that, let me tell you about a hilarious twist in this study. As you can see, not only did these researchers save people from dialysis, but they had to write an entire essay justifying why. And their justification, oh, these patients were too poor for dialysis. What? Seriously? That's your argument? We had to save their kidneys because their wallets were already on life support? I mean, imagine being one of those patients reading this. Oh, you're saving me because I'm broke? Thanks, I guess. It's like a firefighter saying, well, we only saved your house because the insurance wouldn't pay out. Otherwise, we just let it burn. I mean, they actually wrote this. The ideal treatment for CKD ESRD is RRT, which stands for renal replacement therapy or dialysis. Oh yeah, sure, that's ideal. It's like they are saying the quiet part out loud here, isn't it? But wait, it gets better. They're treating these patients with medicine and a diet that improves their kidney function by 20 points, and they're over here like, sorry, we couldn't give you the VIP dialysis experience. All we can do is save your life. I mean, can you imagine the conversation in the clinic? All right, Mr. Smith, bad news. You can't afford dialysis. Oh no. Good news though, we are going to save your kidneys with a healthy diet and some medicine. Wait, why wasn't that the plan all along? Because reasons.
Wait, what?
Now, let's get serious for a second. The results of this study are incredible. These researchers not only saved people from dialysis, but gave them their lives back with practical, effective treatments. And now, let's look at the rest of the study to see what you can do to improve your kidney function by 20 points without needing a GoFundMe for dialysis. Now, you may be wondering what kind of treatment was administered to these patients in order for all of them to get better? And that's a very important question because, well, what worked for them may work for you as well. And in this study, since the patients were, poor, they really focused on the basics. Starting with telmisartan. This is your garden variety herb. The vast majority of CKD patients take either an herb or an ACE inhibitor already, so I won't go too much in depth about it. But keep in mind that herbs and ACE inhibitors are very useful for patients with a GFR between 60 and 30, and that you must always keep your blood pressure below 130/80. And I mean, it's clear not everyone does that, otherwise patients in this study wouldn't have improved. Now, something else they mentioned here is torsemide, which is a loop diuretic. And while most CKD patients take herbs or ACE inhibitors, diuretics are less common, but they can still help a lot, especially if high blood pressure is caused by fluid overload or if edema is present. So yeah, they can be an essential part of the treatment. Now, in this study, they did more than what most doctors usually do. In fact, patients were also prescribed iron, which together with erythropoietin is the main treatment for anemia. So yeah, if you have CKD and you don't want to end up in dialysis, consider keeping an eye on your hemoglobin and ferritin levels and get your doctor to prescribe accordingly. But never assume your doctor has already covered all of this for you. Anemia is one of the most undiagnosed complications of CKD. Keep that in mind. What's more, these patients were also prescribed calcium, used mainly as a phosphate binder, and vitamin D3. Keto analogs were also prescribed to everyone. Keto analogs are special amino acids made to protect patients on a renal diet from the risk of malnutrition. And they forgot to mention this in the study, but I believe they were prescribed B group vitamins as well. So yeah, this is what a comprehensive treatment plan looks like for kidney disease. It's about covering all the bases and leaving nothing to chance. But let's be honest, when the alternative is dialysis, wouldn't you want to do everything in your power to delay or even avoid it? I know, this might sound overwhelming, and I get it. Dealing with CKD is complicated, but here's the thing. You don't have to navigate it alone. If you'd like someone to take a closer look at your medications, your diet, and your overall treatment plan, and to create a diet and a strategy that's 100% tailored to your needs, then send me an email. My email is catherine@newhopeforkidneypatients.com, and you'll also find a link in the description to contact me directly. I'm here to help, guys. Through my one-on-one remote consultations, I've had the privilege of working with some of the most amazing people from this community. People like you who are knowledgeable, proactive, and determined to make meaningful changes in their health. And with my guidance, they're not just managing CKD, they're taking control of it. I freed up more time in the coming weeks specifically so I can work with more of you. If you are ready for a plan that's tailored to your unique needs, one that's easy to follow and effective, there is no better time to reach out. Send me an email now. Now guys, something else interesting we can learn from this study is the way they approach diabetes. So let's talk about diabetes. Specifically, let's talk about how the researchers in this study handled it, because they decided to do something widely controversial. Brace yourselves. They put everyone on a plant-based diet with low protein. Yes, every single patient was on just 0.3 to 0.6 grams of protein per kilogram of ideal body weight, diabetics included. Yeah, you heard that right. A keto influencer would faint into their plate of bacon at this point. I mean, jokes aside, in most studies about the renal diet, they separate diabetic patients from non-diabetics. Why? Because the diets are usually different. We give diabetics a bit more protein for glycemic control, right? But these researchers were like, nah, let's give everyone the same diet. We know it's gonna work. And those diabetic patients, they improved. Their glucose levels went down, their symptoms disappeared, and their kidney function improved. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? Is this even legal? Can you really give diabetes patients a diet this low in protein and high in carbs just to save them from dialysis? Well, guys, if you ask the researchers that exact question, they'd probably just tell you to just read the paper and maybe throw in a "you sweet summer child." Their message is simple. You don't need to limit carbs. You just need to understand what foods are spiking your glucose, cut calories if necessary, and voila! Sure, that advice might sound blunt, but it's better than the alternative, living in a meat-only echo chamber where the only vegetable allowed is butter. No, sorry. I mean grass-fed, organic, pasture, raw butter. Okay, jokes aside, there is no improving with CKD if diabetes is not under control. In fact, stopping the cause of kidney damage is always the first step towards improving your kidney function. And if diabetes is present, there is no improving if we don't keep your fasting glucose and your HbA1c in the right range. However, many people still think that the treatment for diabetes is reducing carbs. This is why when I talk about the plant-based diet, there is still a lot of pearl clutching going on in the comment section. I always get questions like this one. Here's the kicker though. Patients in this study didn't just eat carbs. They increased them and they still improved. But try telling this to the internet. Am I right? So here's the good news. You are not doomed to a lifetime of steak and despair if you have diabetes. In fact, cutting carbs without cutting calories is like cutting your toenails without washing your feet. It's not addressing the real issue. On the flip side, cutting calories without cutting carbs, now we're talking. That's the real game changer for diabetes. So the next time someone tries to convince you that fruit is the enemy, just smile and say, sure dude, but maybe let's focus on portion sizes instead of demonizing apples. Okay guys, back to nigella sativa, the black magic seed. So as we have seen in this study, patients also receiving nigella sativa gain back, on average, 6 more GFR points in 12 weeks. So all the patients have improved, but those also taking nigella sativa improved significantly more. And what this implies is that for nigella sativa to help, the rest of your treatment should be already in place. So question, how to take nigella sativa? Well, you should be able to see on screen recommendations about how to take it according to the study we just examined and many more pieces of medical literature. You should see doses, tips, and everything. This will be a great time to pause and take a screenshot if you want to try this remedy. Now, nigella sativa is widely available and it's pretty safe. The only patients I would recommend to be cautious with it are those on anticoagulants and those on immunosuppressants. And that's because basically anything can have interactions with these classes of drugs. And since nigella sativa also lowers blood sugars, if you have diabetes, make sure you are not lowering your levels too much. Anyway, it really seems to help, so I would absolutely consider nigella sativa as a part of your treatment. And guys, if you want to learn about another supplement that is revolutionizing the world of kidney disease, my video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Ciao!